This is the masterclass, the October masterclass, and making engaging videos that wow. And we are going to have so much fun. I personally think this time of year is super exciting because people are primed to open their wallets and to spend money on themselves and their businesses and their personal development. This is an exciting time. The goal is I'm going to talk fast because I want to give you a lot. And there's a recording and take notes. And I hope that you will walk away with a million new ideas and inspiration. Thanks for being here. We are going to talk about how to make engaging videos that wow, because not just videos, but we want to wow people. I like to call it, welcome, how to hack the human brain. I've been diving into this deeper about the power of storytelling, and it's so exciting because storytelling to me is just such a thing that I love, and there's a million ways to do it and do it well. I know that your time and attention is the most important thing, so we're going to go over how to get your time back, how to crank out social media videos, and this is one of my favorite tools so that you never have to worry about what to say, so you don't panic when it's Monday morning and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? And I'm going to teach you one of my insider tips about how to boost engagement. You're in the right place. There's a million things you can be doing, and getting better and more consistent on camera is one of the best investments you can do for your business. If you want to stay in business, if you want to grow your business, you probably already know this, but it's worth saying again, social media is not going anywhere. However you feel about it, I invite you to help reframe it. In the old days, we had to pay a lot of money to get on TV or radio. We had to hire a PR person. We had to do $5,000 a month for 3 months minimum. It was very expensive and exclusive. And now we have these platforms and they can be overwhelming, but they are basically free. So if you can learn to harness the power of one or two platforms, if you're just starting out, or more, if you've been doing it for a while, there's magic. There's so much power in it. If you can just think, you know what, in the old days, I would have had to pay a lot of money, and now I have these platforms. So it's a good way to help reframe it. The statistics say that we have 7,000 messages coming at us a day. Some people say it's 8, some people say it's a little less, but that's a lot for our brain to process. When we can do social media that lifts other people up and are compassionate and loving and supportive, that's the kind of messages we want to be giving out anyway. Attention is the new gold standard. That is what we're all trying to get. And that's why they have some of the crazy videos that we see. And unfortunately, some of the clickbait stuff that most of us hopefully are smart enough not to click on anymore. And we have to educate people about our business. Otherwise, we won't have one. So there's a real opportunity here to reframe it and to think of it as a gift that you get to educate people about what you do and who you help and what makes you uniquely qualified. And instead of having social media be like this pain, which is what a lot of people tell me. So in case you don't know me, I've spoken in 44 states and 6 countries now. I've been speaking and performing and singing and dancing my whole life. I did my first commercial in the 2nd grade, and then I was, oh my gosh, this is fun. And then I did The Sound of Music. I played Gretel, and I was, oh my gosh, family, because my parents had divorced, and all of a sudden theater was like family, and there was applause, love. And I love theater because it was one of the few things that was consistent in my life. And then I moved to New York and got sober at the same time, which I wouldn't recommend, but that's how I did it. And I fell into stand-up because people kept saying, you're really funny, you should try comedy. And I was, what do you mean? And so it took a while. Then the universe had to keep telling me. And then I had the privilege, I got to get through 6 rounds of America's Got Talent. I've been on SNL, HBO, all the things. So I know what it's like to feel under pressure. And I know what it's like when you have insecurities about your body, your height, I'm muscular, all the things. I'm short and curvy. So I know what it's like. And I also know what it's like to use humor to help people lean in and feel like they can approach you and that you're more relatable. So I have smashed all of this together. And this is what I use when I coach people, whenever I teach, speak, coach, all the things. So that's a little bit about me. I didn't just roll out of bed and decide, hey, I think I'm going to teach video. I've been doing this. This is my work in my life. But more importantly, what have I done with my clients? Because you're like, who cares about you, Elaine? Really, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? So I have helped people go from becoming wooden, stiff, robotic to having wait lists for their courses, 10xing their audience, doubling their sales. One of my clients spoke for NASA. She had been really stiff whenever she and her husband was her producer, and he was, please help her, please. And we did some stuff, we did a little work, and I helped her unlock it. And he was, oh my gosh, what did you do? And it's just amazing. Sometimes the tiniest tweak can free people up. And that is my mission in life. I help the helpers. I'm on a mission to help heal the world, and I can't do it alone. And I need a lot of people. So that's why you're here. And my goal is that I help you lift others up and you share your story for good. And it's a ripple effect. The power of video and speaking well is just, it's so powerful. In case you came in late, we're going to talk about how to get more of your time back, because every entrepreneur I know is short of time. I'm going to teach you my #1 secret so that you never get stumped about what you're going to say or do, and how to boost engagement, because we want to be putting great stuff out, but we want people to be engaging. Stay tuned for that. And my whole philosophy is done is better than perfect. Good enough is good enough. I know so many amazing, fabulous women I mostly work with women and a few smart men. I know so many women who are doing these amazing things. And then when it comes to their own marketing and their own stuff, they're trying to get it perfect. They're waiting until the thing. Let's do it. You may never feel ready. You may never feel 100, but let's get it going. Let's build that muscle of consistency and putting yourself out there, and we can correct as we go. I believe that's how you build. You learn to lean into the fear and the excitement, breathe through the nerves, and that is how you keep going. That's my philosophy. I'm pushy, but with love. I'm tough love, pushy cheerleader. So every entrepreneur needs more time, right? We never have enough time. There's always more to do. And here's what's cool. When your business is growing, there's more to do. So we want growth, but I need to sleep. So let's talk about video. Why would you bother wanting to get good at it, right? You can clone yourself. You can make one piece of content and put it 10 places. You can be so many places at the same time. Think about if you have people in Australia, New Zealand, England, Canada, like there's all these places who speak English and they're not in your time zone. So people can be getting to know and trust you while you're sleeping, working out, coaching, traveling. There's so many cool things you can be doing that doesn't include you. It captures the essence of you, but then they can be drinking you in before you ever get on the phone with them or Zoom with them. So I just want you to be thinking about other ways you could do this. You can do your frequently asked questions. If you get asked a lot of questions that are sometimes I end up saying, a lot of people want to know about the camera and the lighting. I keep my stuff super simple because I don't want you to get caught up in the details and the technical stuff. I want to keep it super simple because I want to get you shooting. But what are the questions that you get asked a lot? What are the things that you teach and preach and say a lot? How can you motivate people? Can you make some videos and put them on your website? Yes, you should. Absolutely, you should. Make welcome videos on your YouTube if you don't have YouTube. There's so many ways you can make a piece of content and put it lots of places. So that's one of the best ways to get your time back. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of getting on social media, and then the next thing you know, it's been 2 hours. Anybody? I'm the only one. Okay, great. If you didn't raise your hand, you're lying. Just kidding. Trying to make you laugh a little bit this afternoon. Yeah, this happens to the best of us, right? I encourage my clients to be super strict with themselves. I'm like, you shoot video, you make content in the morning when you're fresh. And if you want to scroll, and we're talking about that later, you do that at nighttime after you've done your work, unless you're a night owl. But you want to use your brain time, your prime time, for creation and when you need to be focused, and the other stuff you can do when you're not 100% on. Personally, I like to scroll at the end of my day because I like to watch funny dog and cat videos. I love to laugh, and I think we all can benefit from more laughter. The thing is, you want to be disciplined, and that will help you a lot. It will serve you. This is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to social media. You need to get on there, do your thing, and go back to work. And then if you want to scroll later or study later, you can, but that is the rule. That's really supported me. Another mistake people make a lot of times is, I don't want to script it. I'll just wing it. I can just wing it. If you wing it and you haven't made a plan, it's dangerous, because the worst thing is somebody stops, you got their attention, and then you squelch it. You mess that opportunity up by rambling or losing your point. I'm not saying you have to be perfect every time, but you want to have a plan. You don't want to cram in a whole chapter of a book, but you don't want to just be, hey. And if you want rambly, go watch some of my old Facebook lives that I did in 2016. They're rambly. And I got better, because when you keep doing it, you get better. So you want to have a plan. And Gary Vee, he's be everywhere. Yeah, Gary Vee, you have a whole team of people, but you want to have some kind of plan. If you're not posting at all, like I have a new client, she's just coming into this arena. Her goal was 4 times a week, but of course she does many things and she's running 2 businesses. So I said, you know what? Let's scale it down to 2 times a week. Let's build this muscle. Let's get you going 2 times a week minimum. Let's set you up to win. When you say, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, 3 hours a day in January, we all know that's not going to happen unless you've already been doing it, right? So you want to create some kind of plan and be consistent. Having some kind of plan and commitment and accountability is key. And then this is really important to me. This is why a lot of people don't get started, or they start and then they quit, is they get discouraged. They look at so-and-so's numbers, that you compare your beginning to somebody else's middle or third quarter, right? And those numbers, they're not always 100% accurate. So don't compare your stuff to somebody else's stuff. You want to look at people's numbers, but you don't need to stare at them. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is you, right? Who you were 6 months ago, 6 years ago. That is it. We have no idea. And I love telling this story. I'm going to tell it quickly. There was a guy who was a life coach, and he was in the right place at the right time. And he said a quote, and then Kim Kardashian and Oprah saw it, and he was a really good marketer. We were in a mastermind together. I remember he was coming to New York for this book launch, and I was so excited, and I wanted to support him. And I went into the city, and I was expecting to see thousands of people there, and there were 40 people. And it was still a great event, but I remember thinking, let this be a great lesson. And he made it look like there was just going to be a mob of people, because you can do lots of things with social media that can be perceived in a certain way. So don't compare yourself. Don't get discouraged. The key is being consistent. That is the key. Okay. So no compare, despair. Don't get discouraged, and learn from my pain. I used to put a lot of pressure on myself. God, Elaine, if you teach this stuff, you should have really high numbers. And you know what? My reach keeps growing, but it's organic. It's organic. They're not bots. It's real people who follow me, and it's real engagement. And I would rather have a small list that's engaged and connected than a huge list that's cold. And ask me how I know. I've had a huge list that was cold. I've had huge numbers, but it doesn't mean anything. Another mistake people make is they try to be in too many places. We've all done it. I'm so inspired. I'm going to do this and this and this. And whoa, don't set yourself up to fail. If you haven't been posting consistently, let's pick 1, 2 max. If you have been posting a little bit, then we can branch out. I want you to build the muscle. Build the muscle. One of the other things you will leave, I'm committed that you have a breakthrough. Anybody want to have a breakthrough today? You are going to think in a new way. One, that you can actually do this, that you really can do social media and videos. And the other thing is you're going to train your brain. You're swimming in content. You have not trained your brain to capture it, organize it, and leverage it. I'm going to say that again, right? Because it's like when we first started driving a car, everybody's like, whoa, oh my gosh, I have to change lanes. Woo, we have to really think about that. We turn the signal on, whoa. And then parallel consciously incompetent as teenagers. Now we're unconsciously competent, most of us, hopefully, right? Now we drive all the time. We don't think about even how we got there because we're listening to a podcast or talking to a friend or singing or whatever, right? Same with this. I want you to be thinking, wow, there's a new way to train your brain. And by the end of today, I want you to have started that process. My students laugh at me because I'll be like, that's a Facebook Live. Oh my God, that's content. My clients will call me and go, you won't believe what happened, blah, 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 blah. And I'll start laughing and they'll go, I know what you're going to say. And I'll go, yeah, make a video. Let's make a video right now. Let's go live. Stop waiting to be perfect and let's get that message out there. So that is my goal for you today, that you have that breakthrough. So if anything is bubbling up for you, I hope you're getting some ideas about, oh, I could tell this client success story. I could tell about when I first found coaching, when I first started working with Debbie Ford, what drew me to her work, the dark shadow, the different personalities. What is this? What is, if you want to put it in the chat, Julie will let me know. If you don't want to share, that's okay. But, perfectionist. One of my clients, we've been working on her keynote, which she did today for Berkeley, and she aced it. I'm so proud. Berkeley is the top public university in the country, and she just slayed this talk we've been working on, tweaking it. We worked on her stories and her nuances and speeding up and slowing down and the pauses and all the things. So what has been holding you back? Are you trying to be perfect? Are you getting ready to get ready? Are you afraid of the bullies? We're going to talk about that. This is why accountability is so great, right? Everything happens with accountability. We all are good at certain things and we all like to do what we do well, right? I can talk and teach and coach all day long, but you want me to sit down and learn a new editing software thing? I'll do it, but it's not pretty, right? Detail-oriented stuff like links. I'm always screwing up links, right? So know your strengths, but if you want to grow, get some accountability. That's the best way. And again, just remember, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Do not compare your beginning to somebody else's middle or end. Everybody has made bad videos. The only reason you don't see everybody's is because we take them down. Nobody rolls out of bed and is a video star. Another thing that I'm going to talk about is you can batch your videos, which means you're like, oh, I got good hair and makeup. Okay, today here's a super tip about storytelling. So here's a tip about how you want to grab them in the beginning and blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you this, and let me tell you this about storytelling. Okay, and then the call to action is this. I can't wait to see you next time. Just keep it real. This is my slogan. Whatever my closing thing is, then I stop the video, my phone or my Zoom or wherever I'm shooting, and I change tops. And I come back and I go, okay, super tip number 2. This is Elaine, and I'm here. I'm going to talk to you about how to make stories that have people sitting on the edge of your seats. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm teaching. Maybe there's another thing, a story that I'm telling. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. Follow me for more cool story tips. And I can't wait to see you tell stories on the screen soon. Bye. Then I go change my top again. So that's what we call batching. That means you're shooting a bunch of videos all at once. Why would you want to do that? It's super productive. You're in the video zone and all you're doing is changing so that your viewers will know, they will visually see a cue. Oh, if I had this on in every video, people would be, oh, I already watched that. Because we scroll and we don't have the sound on half the time. A lot of people watch social media when they're bored, when they're in meetings, when they're in line at Chick-fil-A, when they're in line at the bank, if they're on a boring date. That's why you want to give people visual cues that it's a different video, different topic. Okay. Change your hair, change your shirt, change your background. That's what batching means. It's super productive because you get in the zone. And that doesn't mean every once in a while I mess up. I'll be like, okay, let me start again. I'm going to do a video of bloopers. I've been saving them and editing them to show that even the pros have days where you're like, this is my rented tongue today. But it makes me real. It makes me approachable. It makes me relatable. So that's all batching is. But I love to knock out a bunch of content in one afternoon, and then you're done for the month. Then all you have, then you still have to edit, blah, 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 blah. But that's a great way. Because people say, I never have time, or I have to switch so many hats. So that's one less hat you have to switch in the middle of your workday. And remember, nobody does it like you. I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough. And a quick story, when I was doing comedy, when I first started doing comedy, I didn't really know how to write. So I was running around going to open mic and different things. And I would have an idea and then I go, oh, I don't know. And then I swear to God, I would see the joke on TV later that week, and then happened 3 times. And so I thought, wow, Elaine, okay, that's the universe is giving you feedback. Like you're onto some funny stuff. And you don't want to steal somebody else's joke, but how can you make it your own? And as a thought leader, coach, speaker, author, healer, sometimes we have these quotes that maybe have been used before, but nobody says it quite like you. Or you can say, I love this Mother Teresa poem, prayer. It's Do It Anyway. I forget the name of it, but people, you may give and people may forget about that, but do it anyway. And you may build a big thing for the community and people may tear it down, do it anyway. And I've heard it a lot, but nobody says it like me. Or how can you relate a quote, a story back to the work that you do and make it your own? So nobody does it like you. I just can't say that enough. You want to pick 1 or 2 platforms, get consistent, build your rhythm. I love helping people find their voice and be free. So many women are so talented and they have so much wisdom and grace. Let's call her Nicole. Super brilliant woman. She worked for Fortune 500. She came from nothing. I knew her whole family story and she had accomplished a lot, but she was really struggling when it came to her self-expression, and her speaking was okay. We were working on that a little bit, but then when she started doing video, it was, oh no, she just, something about the camera, and she was just being like a wooden talk. I'm very excited today, and she would just start editing, super critical. We did some work and I kept pattern interrupting her and bringing in some humor. And we had to do some deep work. We had to kill off her parents and some other critics from her childhood. But she's lightened up. She's having fun. She is laughing and she's showing her authentic self, because even though she's really brilliant and intense, she wasn't approachable. People were like put off by her. And so doing this work is so transformational. It's not just about being on camera. It's about really your persona and who you are. And so I love doing this work because it's about the camera and it's about so much more. So it's been a joy to watch her lighten up and have fun. And she's 10x her reach. And I think she's even doing more corporate again. She's been doing a bunch of different things, but she's having fun with it. She really needed that. She really needed that. So that's been great to see her. Yeah, it's about social media, but it's about so much more, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I always think of what I teach, it's really about getting over yourself so that you can do your purpose. If I waited to have it all together, I never would have gotten on stage. If I waited to feel ready to talk about, I talked about really heavy topics on college campuses. That wasn't really what I wanted to do originally, but I was called to do it and I did it, even though it was very uncomfortable at times. But I knew I was doing the work, God's work. People kept asking me to speak on these topics and use humor and use all my stuff. So I did it. I did it. So what are you thinking? What are you bubbling? What's coming up for you? Any ahas? I would love to know. I am going to be telling you about 2 options if in case you wanted to do some work with me. And that's coming in a little bit. And I meant to say that in the beginning, but just sit back and relax. We're not there yet. Okay. This to me is how many times have you sat there in front of the computer with a blank page and you have to write something? Oh my God, what am I going to talk about in this email or video or blog or article? Anybody? Has anybody ever felt like we have so much to say, and then when there's the pressure, where the walls close in, right? That's why you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Like there's something about the pressure. So this is why I work on this with my students too, and my clients of like, when you do a little bit of prep before the lights come on, it's all the difference. Think, for example, I'm a talker. I've been performing my whole life, and yet I still go blank at certain times. There's something about being confronted or having our nerves come up and we can just go blank. And so I'm going to give you this tool and you will thank me forever. And here's why, right? I want you to create a system. I want you to have, this is where my video is. This is where the light comes towards me, whether it is a little corner in your office or your closet, or whether you put little tape so that, okay, this is the angle, this is the thing. I want you to create a system for yourself, because the quicker you can do it, the less likely you are to not do it, right? So if you can set yourself up so you don't have to think about it so much, you actually can create a system. So it's like when you go start working out again, you put your workout clothes out in the morning and you have to stumble over your workout, your tennis shoes. You got to put them on. So think about that, right? So I want to make this super simple for you. So we're just pulling away all of the blocks and the obstacles, all right? You will thank me. You will thank me because we don't need you to put this off anymore. People need you. You never know where your story could be the exact thing somebody needs to hear today. Today. And then, yeah, this is a lot of people make these mistakes of getting fancy cameras and lights and schedulers. And if that's really going to help you, but I have found that it's overcomplicated and you can get bogged down in those details. All you need is Zoom on your computer or a phone and some kind of light towards your face and a background that's not too crazy or not too plain. That's it. Seriously. A tripod would be great. Those are on Amazon. But that's all you need. So what I'm about to give you, I have many categories and we go deep into this in my program. I'm going to give you one. It's one of my favorite ones. It's so simple and it's profound and you're going to love it. Okay, are you ready? I get so excited. This is a prompt. It is a prompt that is going to cue you into your genius so that you look like the expert that you are, okay? This is a prompt, otherwise known as a cue for your content. I like to use this instead of elevator pitches whenever I do community things and have people introduce themselves. What is one myth you would like to debunk about your work or your industry? For example, okay, everyone thinks they need to have a super duper camera if they're going to make high-end quality videos. Guess what? Our iPhones are pretty amazing. And a lot of people use iPhones for framing and things on actual Hollywood sets. So that is a myth that you do not need to go spend a lot more money if you have a decent phone. That is a myth. Okay. Now, you may be going, oh, that's so simple. But what is simple to you is not simple to everybody else. Remember, common sense is not common, right? And what I love about this is when you're debunking a myth, it automatically shows that you're an expert and you know what you're talking about. Because if you didn't know the myths, you wouldn't be able to debunk them. And when you're saying something like this, my name's Elaine. My company is Captivate the Crowd. I help people get over themselves so that they can share their message to be loud and proud and have the bigger impact they know they're meant to make and stop hiding out and do their thing. And I am so tired of people thinking they need to have a huge following before they can make videos and before they can have an impact in their social media world. That's a myth. I am so tired of people feeling like they need to be super skinny or super perfect like the influencers. No, you're a healer. You're a mission-driven, purpose-driven human being. That is enough. You are enough to make a difference. You do not have to be an influencer or a TikToker or a YouTuber. You are enough right now, sharing your heart and making a difference. Can you tell I'm passionate? So I'm demonstrating. And also, when you're saying another myth, a lot of people ask me about blah, blah, blah. Can you see how that gives you a position of authority and credibility? You're not saying, I've done 53 certifications as a Debbie Ford coach, and I've done EFT and EMDR, and I've done healing modalities for 37 years. And it's so boring. Oh my God. It's like a peacock walking around with a big tail of feathers, right? But if you're saying, here's something I want to debunk, or this is a common blah, blah, blah. So think about this. To me is so juicy. You could make a whole series just of this. So that's an example of a prompt. And why I love these, just the positioning, but you don't have to come from a place of proving. You're coming from a place of giving. In fact, Julie, make a note. I should be doing a whole video series on this. So you're coming from a place of giving value and you're in this position of power. So it's just so much more engaging too. That's why I love prompts. I love prompts. There's a million of them. And one of my superpowers is when I'm on Zooms with my people, I get down. One of my clients is, I always take notes, even though we record, because there's so much juicy stuff that comes. So when I'm talking to people, I just think about, oh, you could do this, you could do this, we could talk about this. I'm super creative and I do a lot of things to keep my channel clean, if you will. I work out, pray, meditate, all the things. So that's an example of a prompt. And my goal is that when you're leaving today, you start a Google Docs and you have just lists and lists of things. And remember, your scripts do not have to be Shakespeare. We don't want you winging, but we also don't need a whole magna cum laude charter. We need the middle. So I want you to have bullet points. Hey, I'm Melinda, and are you a busy online person and you cannot seem to manage your own stuff? I can help you with that. I've done da-da-da. I'm going to give you one little tip. If you want to know more, follow me for more tips. But it can be so simple. Our content can just be so simple. And some videos are going to be more fun than others. It's just human nature. So anyway, so that's the prompts. You're welcome. You're welcome. What is a client story you would love to tell? What is another client story? And these can be clients you've worked with. Start thinking of all the people you've helped. Just make lists. You are swimming in content. You are swimming in content. Your opportunity is to reframe it. Keep a list as you go through your day. What do you say to your clients all the time? Laura, so good to see you, right? So you help corporate women be creative again, to reclaim that. What is that fire in your belly? What dream did you put aside 20 years ago that is calling you? Now is the time, right? All of that. I have one of my clients, she was hilarious, very talented, already a great speaker, but when it came to video, and I just kept reframing it for her. And I was, it's just thinking of you're speaking to one person instead of a whole bunch. and think about how much you love come from your why instead of how much you hate video, right? Come from your why. Come from why are you here? What is the difference you want to make? When we come from our commitment to use our forces for good, to use our stories for good, that's so much bigger than, oh, my hair. Oh, I've got, ooh, new gray. Great. Oh, there's a new wrinkle. Woohoo. There's always a good reason to not press go. Am I right? There's always a good reason. And there's always a really good reason to press go because somebody needs to hear you. Quick side note, and then I'm going to get into the next thing. Okay. Hopefully, you're getting some ideas, super tips. You're thinking about other things you can talk about, teach, leaving corporate, reclaiming your soul. What is some of the things you do every day? Do you meditate? Do you pray? Do you have spiritual readings? How do you ground yourself? We think that everybody knows this stuff because we're in this world, but there's so many people who don't know these tools, or maybe they did and they forgot, or maybe they did them and then life happened. And so as adults, we need to hear things many times. So even if you think it's been said a lot, somebody needs to hear it. Super quick story. I started this Captivate the Mic podcast, which we're going to be launching next Tuesday is the day. And I might be doing a launch party. We might be doing a launch party. So stay tuned in case we do that. But I've been laughing because every interview I've done, I needed to hear this today. Every interview has been eye-opening and wow, like I was doing this for my community and to uplift other women. And in the process, I have completely uplifted myself. And that what an extra bonus gift that is. That is, think of super tips. What is your take? Do you listen to a podcast? Why do you love it? Who do you follow? Think about it, right? There's so many. Hopefully, you're just getting so many ideas about tips. So put in the chat, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, because there's still a couple of things I want to cover. This is the last tip. Are you guys ready? You ready? Okay, we worked so hard. We made the video, giving the super tips, telling the case studies, bragging about our clients, talking about a quote that inspired us. But what if nobody sees it? Right? That's a big fear. We work hard on it. And then what if we don't get any love? It's another reason to come play in my world, because when we were in the Captivate the Crowd group program, we love on everybody. And when you do a post, we all go in and comment. I have content buddies. Whenever they post, I'm loving all on it. And then the same for me. So that's fun too. But this is another great way. So the algorithm wants you to live. Let's use Instagram. The goal of Instagram is to have you living on Instagram. Now, I don't want you to live on Instagram. I want you to get on there, do your thing, and then go live your life, right? It's not healthy to be on these things 24/7. You all know that. You're wise. But the algorithm wants you, right? So if you watch a horse video all the way through, it's going to go, oh, let me feed her some more horse videos, right? If you watch a dance video, what's going to pop up? More dance, right? So that's why when people say, oh, my stuff is so negative, I'm always like, what have you been watching? So the goal is we always want to be creating organic reach, organic love. And my thing is, I only do positive. If somebody does something that I don't like, I just keep scrolling. We don't need to put our opinions about blah, 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 blah. Just focus on the positive. I'm preaching to the choir. You guys already do that. Let's say that you made a video and you want to post it. Wait, save it in drafts. I want you to go onto Instagram or whatever platform, and I want you to scroll. I want you to like, comment, and save with the little flag anybody that is in alignment with you, that's in your community, in your world, that's part of your brand or whatever. So let's just say, oh my gosh, Julie did a podcast episode about people who save pets. She does a lot of pet rescue stuff. I'm a huge pet advocate. I love animals. So I'm going to go click the heart and then I'm going to write a comment, and it's going to be thoughtful. It's going to be, yay. I love the work that you're doing. Thank you for highlighting this important work with this rescue person. Thank you both for sharing your insights into how we can rescue more dogs and cats. You want to leave some kind of thoughtful comment that's more than 5 words. And when I'm tired, I sound like a valley girl. Sometimes I will be like, right on, yay, amen. Sometimes I'll just put, I really needed to hear this today, so thank you. Some kind of thoughtful comment. So when you like, comment, and save, that shows the algorithm, ooh, they like this. So it's likely to push this particular video out to more people who are not followers. So when you like, comment, and save Julie's post, that says, oh, that is helping Julie. So when you do that for 10 minutes, you're showing the algorithm that you're at the party. You're on the platform and you are playing and engaging, you're commenting, you're liking, you're saving. So after you've done that for 10 minutes, then you go get your draft and you post your thing. And the algorithm is, oh, she's been playing at the party. Where else can I send this? How can I send this piece of content to people who are not her followers? And let's say you work with me, so you made a banging 20-second, 30-second video with a super tip or some crazy, hey, you engaged, you grabbed them, you gave some good juicy content, and then a simple call to action. So people watched it. Let's say everybody watched the whole thing all the way through. The algorithm's going to go, oh, this is good content. Let me show it to some more people. And that's how people get viral. That's how we grow organically. The algorithm shows you to other people who are not already following you. So that is how you boost engagement organically. There are lots of ways to do it with paid ads and bots, and that is not my jam for lots of reasons. I like slow, steady, organic growth. I think that in the long run, that is where it's at. I would rather have a thing go, I've had 20,000 views and I didn't get any new people on my list because they weren't my people. It was exciting, but at the end of the day, wouldn't you rather have 10 or 20 people who are really engaged in you and what you're up to and your community versus 100 people who were like, who, what? So that's how you boost engagement. Okay. So quick review, get on with a plan. You want to scroll support. I encourage you to put a timer so that you don't get sucked into the rabbit hole. So when that timer goes off, you go, okay, now I'm going to post. And I just invite you, if you have perfectionism streaks, I know I've been bumping against that. If you are worried about bullies out there or in here, whatever is stopping you is probably stopping you in other areas. The world needs you. Nobody else does it like you. I know I said that before, but it bears repeating. Most people are waiting to feel ready. You may never feel fully ready. Most people are waiting to feel confident. I think that we grow into confidence by leaning into the excitement, learning to use our breath, do the warm-ups, do the work, and that is how you build your confidence. If you waited to be perfect, you're never going to get out there. And ask me how I know. For a long time, I was waiting. And I personally think that when you're waiting and you're not doing your thing, it adds to the self-doubt and the self-hatred. When you come from your why and you're imperfect, but coming with the intention to make a difference, your people are going to love that and they're going to find you. And it's way easier to do this when you don't have a huge audience. It's much harder when you already have a big one. And again, remember, we need to hear this. I don't have time for all the bullies. So I invite you, we've already talked about the bullies a little bit. So what is one thing you can say to your inner critic? I say, thank you for sharing. Oh, yep, I'm no spring chicken. Thank you for sharing. Yes, yeah, I'm still working on that. So we talked about getting your time back. We talked about the prompts and we talked about how to boost your engagement. So hopefully I just got to keep going because the time has gone so fast. And I want to invite you. I'm going to go through this super fast. Yeah, adds to your self-doubt. When you're waiting and waiting, it's not good for your heart or your soul. So I'm going to invite you to come join me. I am doing this. We're starting it at the end of October. It's going to be a little bit in November, a little bit in December, and then we're going to finish strong in January, February. My group program. And this is for mission-driven entrepreneurs who are ready to get their butt kicked in a loving way from me while I hold your hand and cheer you on. If you don't want to feel uncomfortable, if you don't want to stretch or grow, no worries, but this is not for you. So the goal is you're going to have next level confidence. You're going to get on podcasts. You're going to have 50 pieces of content. You're going to have a whole system about creating, capturing, and you're going to attract higher end clients who can easily pay for you because you're going to be so authentic and real and sharing about your work in new ways that it's going to catapult you into the next dimension.
Working with Elaine
Yep.
has been a
You know what?
She has the
Yay,
master
Sandy, Paula, I could go on and I'm blessed. I have some amazing people who've gotten amazing results, and I know this is on my YouTube somewhere. The course is $2,000. It's 3 months, but it's really going to be over 4 because it's going to be like the end of October. Then we do a couple weeks in November. Then we do 2 weeks in December and we take a break. But if you want to keep doing the labs, you can do the labs because some people want a break from their families. And we have 2 meetings a week. We do a class and then we create content because there's no hiding. So we do video prompts, handouts, storytelling. I record it with you. I guide you. We look at your results and we address what we want to do. And I love this because there are no excuses. What I found when I first started teaching this a million years ago is people were coming to class, taking all these great notes, and then they weren't doing anything. And I was like, what is happening? So I made a lab so that people would actually come and get the work done. So there's no excuses and there's no hiding, but it's so fun because we do it as a group. So the goal is that you're going to have so much content, you're going to have your whole system down, you're going to be just cranking it out, and it won't be so painful and all alone and stressful. Kat, she was like, Elaine, this is way more than just about video, isn't it? I was like, yep, it is. That's Ron. We've been working together for a couple of years. We do all kinds of things together. He's so fun.
I am Karen.
That's
Robinson,
Karen.
and
She loved me. I know we're running out of time. That's Vivian. I helped her with her speech. There's a money back guarantee. Nobody's ever asked for it because I'm just it's small. I keep it small and exclusive because my goal is that you are a rock star by the end of it. And I want to get you on podcasts and I just want to get you out. And anybody who signs up soon, you're going to get a one-on-one with me. There's Sandy. So good to see you, Sandy. And if that feels like this sounds great, but I don't know if I'm ready, this is another option where you can do a social media audit where we look at where you are and where you want to go. And that is it's $197. And of course, we record everything so we can create a plan for you. And that's a great way to get started with me if I'm not sure about the long course, but we can do that. And I have a few spots for that. And there's going to be more stuff coming out through the email. Thank you. I know I flew through that. So I know Julie had to go. Okay. That is okay. Yep. Oh, lots of messages. Okay, great. And Judy. Hi, Judy. So happy to see you. This is awesome. Yes. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for coming. Yes, Sandy has gotten so good on video.